Yo, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Abrazo Football Podcast. Brooks and Blaine, as per usual, back at you with another episode. So, the season's basically wrapped up at this point, right, Brooks? I mean, we got, FA Cup happened earlier today. Europa League final happened Wednesday, right? I think it was.
Yeah, I think so.
Um,
31st?
the 31st was a Wednesday, maybe?
Yeah.
Well, I just had my calendar up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right, you're
Wednesday.
right, you're right, yeah.
Yeah. Wednesday's the 31st. What was, what I thought was weird before we keep going? The Europa Cup or the Europa League final was played before the Conference League
I don't
final.
even know who's in the Conference League final. Is it West Ham or who's in that?
It's an Italian team.
That's
I know
another Italian
that.
team? Man,
Yeah,
I
I
just have
just
not been paying
know.
attention to the Europa League or the Conference League.
Yeah, so
I
the Conference League, yeah,
These finals have been sneaking up too. Like the Europa League, like you see, yeah, it was early. It seemed early. It was also on a Wednesday.
yeah. Like it seemed early, but also it was probably later than it typically is because it's
Because of,
June.
yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, West Ham and Fiorentina. So
Ah,
like
okay, okay.
Italian teams and all made it to the Europe finals. So Inter
Crazy.
champion, you know, Roma. We'll talk about Roma later on. But yeah, anyway, end of the season. I guess, it seems like the right thing to do, customary. Maybe we should start things off by examining the transfers that took place for the 22-23 season and maybe pick, some of our favorites or a definitive best transfer of the season. What do you think, Brooks?
Yeah, a best and a worst.
Okay, yeah, okay, sounds good. Best, worst. Okay. So just go over some of the highlights of some of the high profile transfers just so that everybody. So where
Yeah.
obviously we had the Erling Holland, excuse me. We had Erling Holland coming, beginning of the transfer window. Mid transfer window, we had Enzo Fernandez to Chelsea. Okay. Some other big ones, Chouameni, Casemiro, some bad ones possibly, Anthony, Mihailo Mudryk, 50-50, Isak, Mateus Delit, maybe Sadio Mane, João Cancelo half. Yeah, I mean, I'm looking at this list. There's some Rafinha to Barcelona, questionable. I don't know.
Jorginho from
Uh,
Chelsea to Arsenal.
yeah, Gabby to Arsenal,
Lewandowski.
to Barcelona, um, Jules
Casemiro.
Koundé,
Oh, yeah.
Casemiro to Man U,
There's a lot of moves.
Sterling from City to Chelsea, top goal scorer with like 7 goals. Yeah, so yeah, let's get into it. I mean, I feel like it's very easy to pick a worst. Um,
Okay, then go with the worst. You say the worst first then. Who you think was?
well,
A
yeah, I
worst
mean, I
club
feel
or
like
worst particular like individual signing?
worst particular, like I'm calling out an individual signing. But I feel like for me, it's going to be hard. Well, it's easy, but like it could be easier if I were to choose. I feel like it would be unfair to choose a January transfer
Okay.
because you like you don't, you're not trained with the team. You're not, you're probably a little bit younger. Some of the people that I'm thinking about worst that didn't pan out.
Okay.
So I
Give us
feel
some examples of who you think was bad then. Who was some bad ones
Mihailo
then?
Mudryk was bad,
And
right?
that's not the worst. That's not going to be the worst for you just because
That's not the
you feel
worst.
for the kid.
What?
It was a January one.
Yeah,
Okay.
Wesley Fofana wasn't great, but he was also injured for half the season. So, like, for me, the easy, by far, like, well, I'd say Mihailo Mudryk, I feel like, has not done well at all. It's between Richarlison, but I'm like, you're also working, at a disadvantage. And to be fair, I think you did really good in the World Cup. So, I mean, but that has nothing to do with a transfer. So I shouldn't even bring that up. Nothing to do with a transfer. But for me, this is personal. Say it, Jazzy. Mark Cucurella. Mark
Oh,
Cucurella from Brighton
dang.
to Chelsea. Hate, absolutely horrendous transfer. Transfer cost what, like 30 million?
Yeah,
And
somewhere around
he
that, I
did
guess.
all of all pretty much nothing at all. No. No, 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 no. I'm wrong. The transfer was not 30 million. The value of the
Yeah,
transfer
he
was
was. It
30
was like
million. It
double
was
that, wasn't it?
65. It was
Okay.
65 million. Because I was like, 30 million doesn't seem like anything for Chelsea. Yeah, he was expensive. 65 mil. So yeah, worst transfer for me. What about you?
I honestly, so that's an interesting one because yeah, he wasn't great, but also he played like every game, didn't he? Until what, maybe until Lampard got in there, he was still like holding down a starting spot most of the season, wasn't he?
Because we didn't have a choice. Ben Chilwell's been injured the whole season.
Okay.
Ben Chilwell was injured the whole season. We didn't have a choice. It didn't, there was no alternative. The only alternative was a kid that we called up from our academy who did. I also don't think he's great, but he got Academy Player of the Season probably because he was the only Academy player to make more than like 5 appearances. But he was still better than Mark Cucurella, and he cost us, tens of thousands of pounds versus, close to 70.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, yeah, yeah, him playing, that's just default. Like no one else could play.
Yeah.
Like
It was tough to. I'll give you the. I'll
I
give you
wish
the.
I'll tell you this, I wish Marcus Alonso would have stuck around. That's how bad he was. And that's all I can say.
I think that Wesley Fofana, when they talked about him, I was like, what? Like this is Chelsea. And I'm not trying to hate on the kid, but I had only because like the week before it happened, Gabriel Martinelli like tore him to pieces. Um,
Yeah.
and so I was like, there's got to be someone better that Chelsea can put 80. I think they paid like 80 mil for him, didn't they? But anyway, the one question I have
Yeah,
before I
80.
answer 80, yeah, that's a lot. But the one question before I answer is I don't really understand. Was Arthur Melo, was he a last season transfer to Liverpool or was he the season before? Because
Well,
that's gotta win. He has like what, zero appearances?
yo, I
I
forgot.
mean,
I literally forgot he was there
same.
until I saw something. Um, it must have been on IG about Arthur Mello, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. I
Yeah,
forgot he was even in the Premier League. I never saw him once.
yeah,
I never saw him.
yeah.
I never saw him. He didn't play because he's well, but how much did he cost them?
I think it
Or was
was
it a
a.
loan?
Oh, wasn't it a loan?
I don't know.
Yeah, it was a loan for the 22-23 season. It's sad because so it was a so Juventus specified that Liverpool had paid 4.5 million in loan fees with an option to purchase for 37.5 at the end of the season. He had his debut in a 4-1 defeat to Napoli. Physical condition problems after being forced to train alone. Yeah, he made a total of one substitute appearance, totaling 13 minutes all season. So for me, that's the worst. And it's like
Wow.
he wasn't. When you think of him at Barcelona, like the guy's still young, isn't he? Like 26? What is he? Yeah, 26.
Yeah.
So it's not like he's like some aging 30-plus-year-old midfielder, but it's sad to see because maybe he wasn't like, world class at Barcelona, but he was very good at Barcelona. And then they did that weird switch for him, right?
Yeah.
And what's his name? Miralem Pjanic.
Yeah.
Um, and it's just he's never been able to kind of seems recover from that. But I would say that's the worst one for me. Like why? What's even the point? What
Yikes.
you lost 5 million, and I guess that's like really nothing. But there's a whole player you didn't use. That was a whole lost utilization
Cl-
situation for Liverpool. They
Klopp,
could have used someone.
Klopp said he's not worth it. He said he's not even worth a half. I can't even give this guy 45. Man, that sucks. I like Melo too. That's that's unfortunate.
Yeah, sad.
That's so unfortunate.
But I guess he goes back to Juventus, right?
Yeah, I guess so. A lot of guys go back to Juventus this summer.
But I think
Maybe he can take Paul Pogba's spot since he's injured.
I think overall, obviously Chelsea. It's hard to say this, but I'm just gonna say what I feel about Chelsea's transfer window because obviously when you speak about transfers this season, you got to talk about Chelsea. It's easy to be like, oh, it was the worst transfer window ever. They spent 600 million and they ended up in what 12th place or whatever. But I think that with these things, a lot of them was young and a lot of it obviously was expensive. But a lot of these players were young, had three coaches throughout the year, and not really any system to like kind of fall in line with. So I think it's a little early to say, you know, is the worst transfer. In a year and from now, we could be saying how great all these transfers were. Maybe
Oh
not more
yeah.
Cucurella though.
Oh yeah, yeah. I don't like. I think
Yeah,
Chelsea
yeah,
did
yeah,
great
yeah,
business.
yeah.
I think like Enzo Fernandez. I think is a good signing. I think Malo Gusto will be a good signing. I like Nani. What's his name? Medaweki.
Yeah.
Uh, I don't even mind honestly, Mr. Fofana, and
Okay.
then the other Fofana. So we got Wesley Fofana and Didi Fofana. We got twin Fofanas. I think then like another young Brazilian kid. I think most of the even Mahala Mudryk. I think if not anything else, we could teach him how to shoot and use his pace. Like I don't mind any of our other signings besides Mr. Mark Cucurella. Yeah, just to be clear.
Okay,
To be
okay.
clear, just to be crystal clear. Um, okay, cool. Let's switch it up then. Let's look at the positive side. Best signing of the season, which, you know, I guess there no precursors, no let's just get into it. Who's your who yeah, I went first with the worst, so you can go first with the best.
I think this is a tougher one because I feel like a lot of people did have a pretty good impact. Like specific, even though you know we talk about Chelsea finishing 12th, Enzo I thought had an amazing impact when he came in. Like he was solid from you know the first time he stepped on the field. I'm gonna throw a weird one out there though because obviously I'm an Arsenal fan. They had quite a few pickups, but I'm it's so this I don't tell me if this is illegal play or not because so they had signed William Saliba a couple years ago, but then they kept loaning him out and loaning him out. So they finally got him back this season. So it was the first season that he played, and I don't think Arsenal finished second if he's not in that starting lineup. I think that maybe if he wasn't out injured the last, what was it, 6 games or so, then it might be a different story as to, you know, them finishing first to second. So I just think he was super pivotal as a super young kid coming into the back line of Arsenal's second place defense. So for me, I guess it's not a signing, but it's a what is it? It's not a signing. It's a pickup,
That's
I
not a
guess.
signing.
No,
That's
okay,
not a
so
signing.
so it's
No,
illegal.
that is
All
not a
right,
signing. No.
okay. So I just wasted all that time and all this
No, you,
breath.
you you can talk about how you feel about a player, but that's not a signing.
All right.
But try again.
Okay, well then I was just trying to avoid the obvious in Erling Haaland.
Okay. That's who
It
you're gonna go with?
has to be there. So Man City lost Raheem Sterling,
Yeah.
Zinchenko,
Yeah.
Gabriel Jesus,
Yeah.
and they still won the league. They just won the FA Cup, and they're going to if they need to like pick up the pieces a bit. This FA Cup looked a bit a little bit rubbish, like kind of rusty, but they're going to win the Champions. They're going to win in trouble after losing some pivotal players and picking up Erling Haaland. So for me, that's got to be the signing of the season. 36 wasn't it 36 goals?
It was
Player
36
of the year,
goals.
young player of the
That's an
year.
accomplishment. That's an accomplishment. Let me tell you why I disagree with you.
Okay, okay. I'm
So
glad you
yeah, early,
disagree because we can't have the
yeah,
same.
yeah. No, Erling Haaland's a baller. Like that's well documented. I think Man City would have won the league with or without Erling Haaland. That's just
That's
how I
bold.
honestly feel.
That's really
I
bold.
honestly feel that way. They won the FA Cup because of Ilkay Gundogan
Yeah.
and Kevin De Bruyne. They played Man U. These aren't challenges for them. Now, if Erling Haaland like gets a game-winning goal in the Champions League, that might tip him to be signing of the season. But like, I'm not saying Erling Haaland's not good. I'm just saying I don't feel like his goal contribution had like a real material effect on whether or not City won the league. That's all I'm saying. Like he wasn't like when you're getting like 4 goals and like back-to-back hat tricks against teams and your team's winning 7-2 or 6-1 or 5-0, the goal tally is going to be high, but the value isn't there. Like there's flair, but I feel like the value for the player, like like I'm not saying it's not impressive, but like a team, like for example, remember when Liverpool signed Virgil and Allison. those are like the kind of like that's the kind of signing I'm looking for, like a guy that like actually made a
Okay.
difference. Bring in a baller into a team that's won 2 titles on the bounce and go on to pull a three-peat. I can't call him my signing of the season.
But then hold
I
on, one
hate to
question
say
then.
it.
So I get you, but they scored 94 goals. Arsenal scored 88 goals. So
Mhm.
who would have picked up? That's 36 goals from one man. I don't remember the last time City had someone scoring over 20 a season, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, it's
Recently,
probably where was the last time? It was probably
yeah.
like in 2015 or 16.
So would you still think that that wouldn't have been a detriment to lose those 36 goals? You think they would have come from somewhere else, whether it's Phil Foden, Kevin De Bruyne, okay, you think that those goals would have still come through somewhere?
Well, not. I mean, they not lose all 36, but say you lost half of them. Say you lost
Uh-huh.
half of, like, say Erling Haaland only scored 15 goals.
Okay.
I still think they win the league. So bring in a different striker that can only score 15 goals. I still think, like, from like a game to game perspective, they would still win all of the games that they needed to win the league. Yeah, and Arsenal could have had a better goal differential than Man City, and Man City could have still had more points and won. All I'm saying is like they would have won all the games that they won. I feel like they would have won with or without Erling Haaland, maybe with the exception of one or two that I'm probably forgetting. I'm just saying like the what I'm not trying to diminish his accomplishment. I'm just saying like
Not the
they
signing of the season for
didn't
you. Yeah.
win the
Yeah.
league.
Because of
Like
him.
it's like in my outdoor team, like the last Wednesday we played and we won the game 7-1. It's like whoever scored the second goal after that point,
Yeah,
all the
you would
other
have won
goals,
anyway.
that's just all
Yeah.
that's just all filler. So it's like
Yeah.
it's a great accomplishment. Like my homeboy got like 4 goals, but it's like, bro, we only needed 2 of those. So like you could go chill somewhere. Like we would be fine if you didn't score the rest of it. That's all I'm saying. So
Uh-huh.
and for me, like, and I'm not saying like he's not a great signing. Like he came at a bargain of a deal, and he
Bargain.
probably will go on to win the Champions League for him.
Yeah.
But like in terms of like what he brought to Man City versus who I think
Okay, who
the
is it?
player of the
Who is it?
season,
Who is it? You're dangling the carrot now. I need to know the answer. I need to know who you're choosing.
the Brazilian, plays for Man U. They signed 2 Brazilians this season. One of them made a difference. The other one didn't. Well, they
So,
both made a difference, but one of them made a much bigger difference than the other.
so you're saying your best is Casemiro?
That's what I'm saying.
No
That's in fact
way.
what I'm saying. That's in fact what I'm saying. That's a for Man U to finish in third, to win a Carabao Cup, to make it to the FA Cup final, and Casemiro was like a focal point of their midfield. I That's who I give it to. I just feel like, I mean, the difference and then if people don't want to accept that, my runner up or someone that I would happily switch places would be is the number 9 for Barcelona, who I feel that if Robert Lewandowski wasn't at Barcelona, they probably would not have won the league. You can't say the same thing for Man City. It's been well documented that Man City has won leagues without strikers. They don't need a striker. Erling Haaland's a compliment. Barcelona hadn't won in forever. Robert Lewandowski, I mean, you can't hit on Robert Lewandowski.
No, you can't. But Barcelona also won that league with 11 points ahead of Madrid.
Well, yeah, but because of Robert Lewandowski's goal contribution. Like they like won like a lot of Barcelona's wins were scrappy wins where they were winning by 1 goal. They weren't like blowing teams out like it's 2017, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
2015 they weren't blowing teams out. They were like barely getting by
Yeah. But
for the
also
most part
remember
of the
that
season.
Ter Stegen tied the record for most clean sheets in La Liga too though.
That's true. And
But
Ronald Araujo played a big part. And if they were signing it, I tell you what, if Ter Stegen was signed for Barcelona, he would get the award.
But to
If
your
he was a
point,
recent
this
signing.
Lewandowski hasn't lost a league in 10 years, right? 10 plus years.
And he brought that to Barcelona
He
with
brought
him.
that to Barcelona.
That's what makes it so much more valuable.
So, okay,
That's
so I know that I've said two now, and one of them wasn't valid because he wasn't a new signing,
Saliba. Yeah.
and two was like an obvious like star pick. The one that had Wednesday gone differently, I guess we'll talk about this in a minute. For Jose
PD.
Mourinho and Roma, yeah, it has for me. It had to. It would have absolutely been Dybala. So I don't think Roma even finishes top 10 without Dybala. And because Tammy Abraham had like what was it like 6 goals this season? He came from like
He dropped
18.
him. He laid an egg this season.
It was not a good season. So Dybala came, picked up those pieces, held that team together. But anyway, now I've given 3. But no, but
Yeah, listen. If you want to retract the Erling Haaland comment and put Paulo Dybala, I I stand in solidarity with you. That was a heck of a signing. That I'm getting chills on my back. I might change my answer. That was a heck of a signing.
the thing
Like
that's
you remember
crazy.
you remember how he was received, the reception of
Yeah,
Paulo
that was
Dybala,
amazing. That's how I want to be
and
welcomed
then
home every day.
and then to get then to a Europa League final. Yeah, it's just and scored the goal in the final.
Yeah.
It's just that's a sucky way to go out though. Penalty shootout.
It is a sucky way to go out. Also, I don't understand how Juventus is letting this guy go, first of all. Second of all, to Rome. Third, he chose Rome, and they were only in Europa League because they won the Conference League. Well, I think they actually qualified
Yeah.
technically the year before too. But so I don't know what happens this season. I know that I'm moving us on, but I hope that he stays. Actually, I don't really. I mean, Roma. The whole fans have made me kind of put a sour taste in my mouth. But it'd be interesting to see what happens in the offseason. Anyway, enough about that.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no, we can move on. So we've established our picks. Let's talk about the aftermath of the Europa League final versus Sevilla and Paulo Dybala in Roma. From you sent me a tweet the other day that had a video of British referee Anthony Taylor being abused in a Budapest airport. I take it.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
What the heck? Why? I mean, what was did somebody sick him on him? Or what were they ultras? Or was it just such an egregious match that he deserved to be, let's just say abused with his family in the airport? What the heck happened?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, walk us through it.
Yeah, I think it goes without saying that no match, no matter how egregious you've been officiating, warrants an attack on you and your family in an airport. Words can be said, opinions can be thrown, but like being attacked in the airport by Roma, like 40, 50-year-old men, that was just like, come on.
That's lame.
This is lame. This is like
That's
why
lame.
this is one of the reasons that it's like, it's racism, it's masculine, it's like all these things. I'm like, this is not what I don't want to be a part of this. Like, this is not what I believe in. But
Yeah. No, that's lame.
a
That's
different
lame. That's
topic.
so lame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, these fans are going crazy because I mean, it was obviously a clear. Did you watch the game, right? You saw when I forget who it was. It may have been Dybala that kicked the ball, literally hit the hand like 20 meters away. It had time to move. It hit the dude's hand in the goal box. No handball. I don't even remember if they reviewed it, if they looked at it on VAR, but
No, I remember thinking that it should have been a penalty.
yeah. And that was the biggest one, I think, that
Okay.
reasons as to why. I mean, it's a
Okay,
clear
I thought
handle.
it might have been because of the penalty shootout when
And
homie
the
came
penalty
off the
shootout.
line. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was all that stuff. It was all of the things that went against Roma that makes you think, maybe this is fixed. Maybe
It's in Sevilla's blood, man.
it
You
is in
heard what
Sevilla's
Rakitic
blood.
said? He said he said we own Europa. I mean, it's not the brag you want to have. Maybe you're better off for not winning a Europa League. I wish they would have though. I really wanted Jose Mourinho and Paulo and the whole team. Like I'm not like it's
Back in
documented. I'm not a
Champions League
Roma
winning
fan,
that, yeah.
but yeah. But
Yeah.
I like a lot of players on the team, and I obviously I like the coach a lot. So
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, so
yeah,
then,
sure.
like, you've been, obviously, Jose Mourinho's been a big part of your life as a Chelsea fan. What do you think he's going to do next? He said he's staying. Do you think he stays?
I mean, if he said I mean, let's see here. I mean, there's not that many big jobs. I mean, Roma's a big job. It's a big job and it's a big city. They're getting. I think he stays. Like I don't. I can't. I mean, Real Madrid is probably looking for a new boss.
Yeah.
He could go back to Real Madrid, but
Yeah.
you know, he could also stay in Roma. I would, if I were him, I'd stay in Rome. To be honest,
I would too.
I I would stay in Rome. You know, if the team's willing to stay, if we get a little bit more money, you know, replace a couple players. I really don't know what the state of affairs are at Roma. I'm just talking in abstracts, but I would stay in Rome
Yeah.
for
No,
sure. Run it
you're on
back.
path to something because the rumors are
Yeah.
now that they didn't make Champions League and they're not getting that money that they're probably going to have to offload a couple people. One of them is Tammy Abraham that's like coming up. But yeah, he said he's staying. He said he wants to be there for the guys, so hopefully he does. 'Cause that's a I mean, I still rate Jose Mourinho. I mean, look at what he's done with his Roma team in 2 years. It's unbelievable. So they pulled an Arsenal and had it all in their hands to qualify for Champions League multiple different ways, and they didn't, and that's
Yeah.
upsetting. But hopefully they can come good this year and get back in Champions League because they haven't been in Champions League. Like I was there watching them the last time they were in Champions League. It's been too long.
Yikes. Well, you know, maybe he gets into Champions League next season, and then he can move on to bigger and better things. They have made the Champions League if the point deduction would have stayed?
No,
No, they wouldn't have. Juventus
they
finished
had a
seventh.
terrible end of season run.
Well, I guess technically the season's not over. Yeah, but there's no way they could finish top four. They're at
Yeah, they're
60
not
points,
finishing. Yeah,
and yeah, Milan's on 6-7.
yeah, yeah. They had it in their hands though. I mean, they're gonna be you, depending on what I guess what Juventus do. They're gonna make Europa, but
Yeah. Okay.
so
Well,
yeah. Look at that. The last five, they haven't even won a game.
they've been focused on the Europa League final. They
Yeah,
blew it. Well, they didn't blow it. It was but the game was blown. Maybe they did blow it. Who am I
they
to say if
blew
they
the
blew it or
league
not?
though. They should have been won that
Yeah.
or been top four in that league. But anyway, moving on.
Yeah. What's next? Moving on to I guess we could talk speculation about another high profile player that got their start in one of the Spanish capitals. I say that because Jose Mourinho got his start technically in Barcelona
Yeah,
under Pep. Leo Messi got his start in Barcelona. Not technically under Pep, but Pep gets the credit, right?
yeah,
He's out of Paris. He's gone. He's done. He's not extending. He's getting the heck out of Paris Saint-Germain. The options are, if you have the internet, tell it. Come to Major League Soccer. Come play in America. Come play for the Star Spangled League in
yikes.
Inter Miami. You know what I mean? You could go to Al Hilal in Saudi Arabia,
Yeah.
Qatar. I
Sorry.
sound so ignorant. Okay, Saudi Arabia. You could go back to Barcelona. What's the fourth option?
I guess you could always go
Sit
home
down?
in Argentina, but yeah, we'll retire.
Sit down somewhere?
Yeah.
What's he gonna do? What do you think he's gonna do?
I want him to come back here. I don't want to be living in a Messi-less Barcelona anymore. It's just not the same energy, It's not. So I really hope that he comes back. The last rumor I heard about him coming back was that Barcelona was actually working with Inter Miami for Inter to sign him and pay that huge fee of whatever, it would be. I mean, he's free, so I don't know what, stipulations are there for the
Yeah,
money.
what are they paying?
Yeah, so I would
We
be
want
so
you to pay
then
his salary?
it would be the salary, and then Barcelona would then loan him from Inter would loan him to Barcelona, and maybe Barcelona would pay like a third of his wages or something, so that
Why would they do
Miami
that?
would. Yeah, I don't, that's
There's
the last
no
I heard.
upside.
So that because I think that what's going on is like Beckham obviously wants him,
Sure.
but everyone right now knows he wants to come to back home and finish up in Barcelona. But the problem is Barcelona's finances. So,
Play for free.
but that's yeah. Well, that's I sent. I mean, yeah. But I think that in order for Beckham to get him, that would be maybe he's like, hey, I want to go. I'll come to you, but I need to get to Barcelona first. Okay, so will it be? I mean, it's almost like a smart move if you have the money to like, okay, we'll pay 3/4 of your wages to announce that you're coming, and then in a year or 2 years, like have you actually be here to get all of that fan recognition at that time and those jersey sales and blah 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 blah. But yeah, I see that as the least likely scenario of him coming, how he comes to Barcelona. But
Well, hold on, wait a minute. Okay, so I'm David Beckham in Miami,
yeah,
and I'm looking at Messi. Okay, I know Barcelona can't afford you unless they sell half the squad and
yeah.
pull 16 new levers to get you, at least 30 million a season.
If Barcelona until yeah, and yeah, Barcelona's gonna sell everything to just become FC Catalunya now. They're not gonna be even Barcelona anymore if they pull any more levers.
Exactly. Okay, so we know Barcelona, like, let's just say Barcelona cannot afford you. I know you want to go there, but they can't afford you unless you agree to, like, pay for, like, a league minimum,
Yeah,
and go over there and, like, show everybody. And, like, I don't subscribe to this. I wouldn't play for free, and I would never even suggest, like, I say that tongue in cheek. I don't think he should play for free. He is a very valuable player, and if Barcelona can't foot the bill, he should go somewhere where they can compensate him accordingly for the services that he can render in the market that he brings along with him. That being said, if I'm Inter Miami, oh, you want to go play at Barcelona but you can't afford it, but you're telling me that you'll come play for me if I pay your wages to play in Barcelona for a season or two, or you'll just go to Saudi Arabia and play there and make 100 million a season or something insane.
400.
400 million?
That's the latest offer.
Or I have to pay your salary. Let's just say I have to pay you 15 million and
Yeah,
you
yeah.
don't even play here, but you
Right.
promise to come here in a year or two, and I still have to pay you that, and at that point you'll be 37 or 38. I'm walking away. Like, I want you, but not at that cost. No, absolutely not. I mean, I think that would, like, unless it was like, if the salary was like less than 5 million, sure. Because then that's like, oh yeah, that's like paying like a 10 million transfer fee and you
But
get a
isn't
guy
there
in
a
two
cap
seasons.
in MLS? I don't know anything about the business there, but he wouldn't be 20, 30 million a year for MLS, would he? Wouldn't he?
I
Isn't there a
don't,
cap? Okay.
who knows, dude? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
we need an
know,
MLS
I mean,
specialist.
well, yeah, I mean, and here's the thing, like MLS, because it's like, I can't think of the word right now, but it's like all US sports, like Major League Soccer. We're
Yeah.
all like they're all in cahoots together. So it's like Major League Soccer would come together and say like, we have an opportunity to sign Messi.
Mm,
How's about we just suspend the cap
yeah.
for Messi? All in favor? All agree?
Everybody
Also,
would agree. Yeah.
we're also going to need each club in the league to pitch in about 15 million to pay a salary, okay? Because our rights our television revenue is about to go through the roof, and we'll divvy it out to all of you later
Yeah.
on when that vote comes in. But up front, we need 15 million from all the owners. That's how they do it, though.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, as a business decision, essentially that's what would happen to Miami too. It's like, oh well, if we pay a lot right now to not get him, we'll get him in a couple of years when he actually comes. Like, it's gonna our money is gonna go through the roof. Like, so I don't know if that you weigh that out and so you see if it makes sense, but
I mean, yeah, yeah. I mean, I don't like the arguments there. I don't think it would make sense unless it was less than $10 million.
yeah,
Because
which
I mean, you got go
go ahead.
ahead.
No, I'm looking up. I'm gonna see if there's a salary cap in soccer in MLS.
Well, even if there is, I bet they would like if Messi was like, I'm not playing in MLS unless I can make at least 60 million a season, and someone was happy to pay him 60 million, they would rip that salary cap off in a heartbeat. And if it was for David Beckham, yeah, they'll break. It's America, man. They'll break the rules. Like this ain't La Liga. If there's an opportunity to get Messi, they will veto that salary cap in a heartbeat. They'll build him his own stadium. Like if Messi was like, I want to come play and I don't want to play anywhere but my own stadiums in every city, they'll build him his own stadium. That's how MS rolls, man. They don't care about what they said before. They're like, yeah, that rule, that salary cap, yeah, that applied to Thierry Henry. That applied to
Yeah.
Beckham. It don't apply to Messi though. But I
Yeah.
mean, because I mean, the other thing you got to think though is like, what he? So Messi's 36 or is he 35?
36. He just turned 36, so he just turned 35.
Okay, so yeah,
No,
let's so
he's 30, almost 37, I think.
okay, so let's
35,
just say
35,
he's 30.
35,
Okay, so
35,
he's
35, 35.
he's 35. Okay, so he's 37 by the time he makes it to Miami.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, he's like people. Let's just say he's top 5 greatest players to ever play the game, ever.
Yeah.
But at 37, are people really gonna be putting up that big of money? Like, I mean, just like let's just be honest. Can we be honest with each other for a second?
Yeah.
Like Cristiano Ronaldo, and I hate to do this to the people, he's making stupid money playing for um I forgot the name of the club, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, is that really worth it to them? Like no one's watching the league. Like we get highlights now from when he scores or does something in games, but no one's watching that league. I don't like that. I think that's a stupid investment on their part. Like it's not like the Saudi league is now blowing up because he's there. It's like the difference is they got it like that. Like to pay
Yeah.
whatever the Saudis are paying
Al
you,
Nassr.
they like El Nassr. They really got it like that.
Yeah.
Like it's not affecting them in the slightest. They could burn that money in a furnace to heat up some rotisserie chicken and not bat an eye. It's not like Minter Miami. No, they have books to balance. So like I feel like it would be really unwise to throw like just be honest with me. Messi
Yeah.
comes to Inter Miami when he's 37. Is Major League Soccer viewership gonna go skyrocket?
I would watch it.
No,
I'm never.
yeah.
Yeah. Why not? This is the last time I'll be able to see a man from like the home country play the greatest that's ever been doing it, and it's easy to watch. It's not like it's like, no offense, it's not like it's like BN Sport
No, you're right. It's
televising
accessible.
French
It's on
league.
Apple
It's a
TV
really,
Plus.
yeah, it's a really accessible, very good production, high quality thing to watch. So yeah, I would. I mean, I would stay up. I was like, obviously, it's going to be really late in Spain, but I would, and I think that's it's just. I mean, what we're talking about is basically the Real Madrid business plan. You know, do we overpay for these players in hopes that it's going to not only bring success but attract a whole bunch of new following and new fans and all this stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, to your point, I think that the biggest reason he's not like, okay, I'm going to Barcelona is, I mean, you kind of hit it on the head. You don't think anybody should play for free. And there's people
I
out there,
don't.
it's
No.
so dumb, where people are like, he should come back for free. I'm like, dude, like, yeah, he's rich, but
No.
he's not. He knows his worth, and he knows that there's definitely a place that he'll come down to, but free is not that number. No one's gonna play for free. But
Yeah,
I think that it's
put
hard.
them on 250 a week. That's fine, but not free.
Yeah, I think that the thing that's harder for in his mind is, okay, if that 400 million was not on the table, then fine, I'd come to play for 150 or 200,000 or whatever. But in the back of your mind, you always know, oh my gosh, like I can get 400 million a year from these people for like the 2 years that they want me is insane. And it would be so hard for people to be like, no, to say no to that. So hard.
Look,
They
yeah,
say money isn't everything, but 400 million for a year?
that's
Come on.
kind of a lot. That's kind of everything. That's
That
kind
kind
of
of is
everything.
everything.
That's kind of everything. Yeah, I'll tell you this much. My level, not that Messi cares if I respect him. I'm well aware to anybody. I know he doesn't care. It doesn't mean anything. But he takes the 400 mil. my respect for him goes through the roof. I would
Really?
love
It goes
I
higher?
would I would love to see him. Like, okay, you've won everything you can win in
Yeah.
football,
No,
and
we
then you
talked
go
about
get
this.
the
Yeah.
biggest bag in the world.
Yeah.
Of course, you should do that. You should like that to me. Like, don't compl I don't like. I think Major League Soccer. If they like, I don't know what the figures are. If the figures were right, yeah, it makes sense for Major League Soccer. But I know Major League Soccer can't rival what you got going on over in Saudi Arabia. And, it's like if Barcelona was like, we can give you like, 12 million a season. That's pennies to Messi, but like, yeah, that's like what like regular players make, right? Like I think like 200K a week is like about 12 a season, maybe. I don't know. Yeah,
By the way, I just
now I'm
read
doing
this
math.
that there's the rumor is they're trying to get it approved by the MLS board that they will be able to pay him 300 in the range of 300 million per year.
300 million.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if
Yeah,
it's true.
that's a
This
waste of
is
that. I don't think that investment would pan out for Major League Soccer. I personally don't.
225 to 300. Yeah, I don't think that
Well,
that
think about it. They just negotiated the television rights with Apple
hmm
TV Plus. So it's not like they're gonna renegotiate. Like Inter Miami signs them, they're not gonna they're not gonna renegotiate how much money they get from the broadcast rights.
Yeah.
The deal with the jerseys are already set with Adidas because it's, league sponsored. So it's like Adidas stands to gain when they start selling
Yeah.
Inter Miami
He's
jerseys
never
like
played for an
crazy.
Adidas club except for Argentina. Like
Yeah.
PSG, Barcelona's always been a Nike club.
Yeah. So Adidas stands to gain. Messi's image rights stand to gain because now he's in North America and, almost coming home, like as far south in North America as you can get to Argentina. But I don't see upside for Inter Miami. Like, oh yeah, like your stadiums will be packed. Any club you go to around the season or around the country, it's gonna be packed. But it's like this is like you're not gonna like price gouge people. Like if like a season ticket costs, you know, let's just say a ticket to go to a Major League Soccer game is like $50. Messi comes to town, it's like, okay, like now a ticket's $150. Like
Yeah.
no one's like I just don't think it would make sense for that money. And I don't want to be disrespectful, but I don't think I think Messi's better than what Major League Soccer could offer him. If he
Yeah.
comes, great. That's great. I'll go see him when he comes to
Yeah,
town.
you'll be able to see him
But
easy.
but yeah,
You'll be able to
but
see
you
him,
know,
what, once a year, twice a year? Or just at home, or would they
just
not?
once a year because
Once
yeah,
a
because
year.
they do conferences, so you only play
Okay.
cross conference once.
Okay.
But I seen him enough times in Barcelona to where I
Yeah.
would prefer he go
And
and get
Paris.
go
No? You
and
said Paris,
Paris.
right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
go get your money
Okay.
and
So does that
and
mean
if
that
you
you
want,
would drop
huh?
respect for him if he goes to Barcelona again? As you've said a bunch of times,
No.
you don't want him to go back.
I no, I won't drop respect for him, but I think
Okay.
he'll lose. I think he can only do his
It'd be like
reputation
Jordan going to
like
the Wizards.
well, not even Jordan going to the Wizards because he like retired and came back and there was no expectation. But if
Okay.
Messi goes back to Barcelona, the expectation is he's going to win. Like he's going back to play in the Champions League to get one more UEFA Champions League medal than his arch nemesis. He's going there to win the treble. And if he doesn't go there and win the treble, it's like, why did you come here? And it's like, oh yeah, like he's washed up. Like you don't want to be in a position, you don't want to be like LeBron James right now where you just got swept and people are saying you need to go play in Europe and you're finished. You don't want to be in that position. Don't put yourself, I'm not saying that's going to happen, but it
Yeah.
could because a team has 11 people and your team could let you down. But guess who's getting their name plastered on that headline?
You.
Messi
Yeah.
loses.
Yeah.
They're not going to say, Eric Garcia, missed the ball and there was a tap in from Antoine Griezmann. They're going to say Messi's dumped out of the Champions League or the Copa del Rey or they
Yeah.
lost 3 games straight in the league. And that's just like, I feel like you've done it all. There's no need. If you want to do it, fine. Like do whatever you want. I just don't see like I feel like the upside, there is upside because if you did go win the treble,
Yeah.
That would boom. That would boom. But, is it worth is the wager worth the risk? In my opinion, it's not. Like you got nothing to prove, man, and go get the 400. But and I feel like I'm well done. That's just how I feel. I don't lose respect for you. It's like, but like look what happened. Like so many players before you, they go, and I get it. People are saying like he's the best. I got you, but still, and Xavi's there. It's his boy, but still, it rarely ever works out.
Yeah.
It rarely ever works out, and I
Yeah, in
mean,
terms of winning like that, yeah. And I wonder though, I mean, I do think that also Barcelona would benefit financially, as would La Liga. And I'm wondering if, Javier Tebas
oh
knows,
yes, it would
maybe
be
there's
great for
something,
them.
yeah, yeah,
Oh yeah, for Barcelona, for La Liga, for the country of
yeah,
Spain, for the country of Catalonia. Yeah, duh, that's a win for them. That's a huge win for them. I'm talking
yeah.
about the man though. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah, yeah,
it would
yeah,
be a
yeah, yeah, yeah. I
huge
know,
win for
but I'm
UEFA,
saying like
all of
I'm
us. It'd
thinking
be a
that
win for me. Because I'm not watching if he goes to Saudi Arabia. Like,
no, no
you
one can
know,
watch it. It's yeah.
yeah.
In the States, can you watch those games or no? Like they're still not televised on like none of those Al Nassr games or Al Hilal or whatever it
I
is.
don't even look. I don't
Yeah,
even look. I don't
yeah,
know because I don't care. And
yeah.
I watched every game when Ronaldo went to Juventus. I watched every game when he came back to me. Like I've watched Ronaldo my whole life. The minute he went and got the cat check in Saudi Arabia, I said, "Good luck, sir." I cannot. I
It
mean,
was
I watched the game
nice.
between him and PSG, but that was
Yeah,
it. I've never watched
yeah,
another. I've seen highlights when they show up on my
yeah,
timeline, but I'm
yeah,
like,
yeah.
I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. But I'm happy for you.
Interesting. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just being real. I
Yeah.
don't care. But yeah, so
Okay.
we'll see. But what do you want? So I mean, I
I
feel
want
like
him
we
to come
talked about
here.
what we think. You want him to come to Spain? Okay. All right, fair enough.
That's what I want. That's what I need. It would be nice to have my family member back in Spain.
Yeah, Nate, you stupid. Nate, nothing wrong. That yeah, what
I want him to come
what
back.
do
Yeah, it would be weird. I want to see him play at Stadio Olympique or whatever they call it here. I forget what they call it. Up at Montjuic because they're not playing at Camp Nou for the next couple of years. So,
oh, they're playing at that little decrepit stadium by the roundabout?
yeah, yeah,
Or
yeah,
I know what you're
yeah,
talking. Yeah, I know. Okay. They're really gonna play there? How many people does
yeah.
that thing fit?
I think it's like 60.
Okay.
Stadio Olympique Luis. Yeah, that's what it is. So yeah, yeah. 55,926 is the is the amount of people that it fits. If I could walk there from my house, I would be walking there. Take a little run, end up there.
Dang. Okay, I didn't realize that. Cool. Anyway, yeah. So we're up to me. What do I want from Messi? So you want him to come back to Barcelona?
I do.
I'd like to see him in Man City.
I think that that would be more detrimental because that's the thing where you say, okay, well, this is the best team in the world. They do have to win, and if they don't, then you're really not as good. Barcelona is not Man City. It's not.
Yeah, but I feel like the likelihood that you win it at Man City
Is higher.
is so much higher. Like
But that's
I
what I'm
feel like,
saying. Like that's why if he doesn't, then it's
oh yeah. I mean, I don't think I like. What do I want to see? That's what I would like to see. I don't think it's a good idea.
I think he should have done
Selfish
it
reasons.
instead of PSG. He should have gone.
Yeah, yeah.
But
But for selfish reasons,
hindsight.
I would like to see him in the Premier League
Yeah, yeah,
playing for
yeah.
Man City. But I mean, if I was his, I would never advise him to do that. But as a
No,
selfish
especially now
fan,
as third age of 35. The
yeah,
time to go to the
yeah,
Premier League was 5 years ago.
yeah. But
Yeah.
it is what it is. All right. Well, what else?
Anything
What else
else?
we got? I'm trying to think. I didn't write down an outline, so I'm not
Yeah, I think that
sure.
was
But
everything.
I think we covered it. I mean, shout out Man City. I guess one time, on their way
Oh
to a
yeah.
treble. Did the double league FA Cup. Ilkay Gundogan. Shout out to the goat Ilkay Gundogan, Turkish god. Almost had a hat trick. Got the brace. Shout out to my man over there, Silky Ilky. But yeah, I got nothing else. I mean,
I,
Champions
I,
League final.
yeah, after that
Speak up.
game, the caption or the camera zoomed in on Holland, and he just kept saying one more, one more. So They all know what they're going for. They're always, you know, when they say, "Hey, have you been giving much thought to the trouble?" They say, "Oh no, we take it one game." No, you have. They thinking about this every single day. So yeah, one more game for them to get the treble. I think they'll do it. I mean, they definitely need to clean things up. That was a pretty, like we said, rusty game they had against United, and Inter is going to be more tough
Yeah.
and more
I
polished because
mean,
their league hasn't ended yet. The league ends today, so
yeah, exactly. Inter's currently playing right now, and I'm pretty sure they're winning. But excuse
who do you
me.
think is going to win that game? Do a quick prediction. Who's winning the Champions League this in the next couple weeks? Final
I mean, the
next week.
prediction would be Manchester City. Yeah, next Saturday. The prediction would be Manchester City wins. I
Okay.
obviously don't want them to win. I obviously want Inter Milan to win, but you know,
It would be amazing if
the
Inter Milan
money.
wins. I just want City to get it over with. I want Pep to get another
I
one outside of Barcelona. Let's just
I
stop
don't.
talking about it, win it,
I
and be
don't.
done with it, and move on. And maybe PSG can be the next ones to win it, and we get over it and and move on. I
I'm a
think City
hater.
will
I don't
win.
want
I
them to
think
do
that
it.
it's their time. It's like written in the stars. It feels like what it felt like for Argentina in the World Cup. I
It
probably just jinxed them.
it kind of does feel like
Kind of
that,
does,
and that's
right?
why I feel sad. That's why I feel so sad because I don't want them to win, but it seems
I,
inevitable.
Inter making it to Champions League is amazing. To the final is amazing.
I'll say this though. Chelsea making it to the Champions League final 2 seasons ago also seemed impossible. And then they went on to do the impossible. 1-0.
Yeah, they did.
Just one goal. One goal, and you can lock it down on D. I mean, your boy, let me ask you this.
Teach that to
You
Mikel
don't,
Arteta.
huh?
That's the teach that tactic to Mikel Arteta.
Yeah, exactly. You don't think your boy, Lautaro Martinez has what it takes to put a goal in against City?
I do,
You dang right you do.
but
Okay then.
I think that City has what it takes to put two or three past Inter.
I hope not. I
That's the
just I
problem.
feel I feel like yeah, I mean it'll be a good game one way or another. We'll see. But yeah, I'm prediction I think City's gonna win. But
What's the
you know,
score?
I'll be wearing
Three
2-1.
one.
I'll be wearing 2-1. 2-1. I'll be wearing my Manchester City jersey, maybe two of them.
Keeping
Top
that curse alive.
gotta keep the curse alive.
He said maybe two of them.
Two of them. The hate is pouring out of my body right now. You can see it. I'm so evil. But and you said you predict what? 3-1? 3-1?
Um, I'll go. Just so that we're not the same, I'll say three. I'll say the thing is, you City's gonna give up a goal. They just give up goals, at least one. So I'll say 2-1 actually.
2-1? Brace from LK Gundogan?
I think Holland's finally. I think Holland gonna score. His Champions League is like his tournament.
Yeah. It'd be cool. It'd be cool. I tell you, it would be cool if he scored in the final in his
Yeah,
debut season.
yeah.
It would be cool for him if they won also. I mean, if it was any other team if it was any other team that had won the Champions League, I'd be here for it. If it was any other coach but Pep Guardiola, I would be here for it. But I'm such a hater. My hate won't allow me to watch them thrive. It's just,
That's,
you know. Also, yeah, but I mean, but at the same time, like I'd be really happy for Erling Haaland. I'd be really happy for Gundogan, Phil Foden, like the whole, like I like basically the entire team. So like they all would deserve it. Like it's not like
they would. They do. They do. They all deserve it. I think they all deserve it.
like
Yeah.
it would be yeah like it would be great for them if
That's
they
what I'm saying. I just
actually
wanted to.
pulled it off. It would be devastating if they didn't. Inter doesn't
It would
win.
be.
It's not devastating
No.
because you know they're
You're
they're,
supposed to
they're
be
like
here.
playing tournament football. They
Yeah.
just happen to make it
Yeah.
because that's how it goes. On any
Yeah.
given day, anyone could be in. But like yeah, it would be probably. Actually, City's a strong team. I feel like they'd bounce back. They'd be fine. I
Yeah,
don't
but
think
it
they
would
would
be
be
it's two
like
in a row now that they've lost in the
traumatized.
Champions League final.
Yeah, so maybe they would be traumatized, but I feel like they wouldn't. I mean, they lost. Okay, so what? They lost. They should have won it one year when they lost to Spurs in the semi. Then they
Yeah.
should have won it another year when they lost to Chelsea in the final. Now they're going back. Yeah, I feel like they gotta win. Like I
They
feel
have
like
to win. Yeah, I think
they will
it's gonna
win.
happen. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Anyway.
All right,
All
that's our
right. Well.
predictions.
Okay. So we'll be back next week. At which point the winner will have been announced the previous night, and that will definitively conclude the European season. And we have a lot of fun topics planned for the summer. So people, please do stay tuned. We just don't do weekly analysis and banter. We got a whole program scheduled for the summer. So keep rocking with us. But for now, we got to